The past few years have gifted us with a wide range of memorable, rebellious, and fierce LGBTQ+ characters.
But there are some that have stood out more than others for their nuanced or boundary-pushing approach to queer representation.
Whether it's subverting the notion of the gay best friend or that all lesbians present in a certain way, we love stories that redefine what it means to be queer.
We're Rose and Rosie, married couple, YouTubers and movie fans, and here are some of the best queer films and TV shows that we've been watching on Prime Video.
First up, let's talk about The Wilds, a sort of gender-reversed Lord of the Flies, featuring a bunch of teens stranded on an island that have to deal with not only that, but all the baggage they brought with them, which, spoiler alert, is mostly emotional.
Think Lost meets Survivor.
At first, you may wonder how a bunch of whiny girls who are so unwilling to even build shelters will survive.
We gotta get real about shelter. If we all, pitch in, grab the material.
That sounds really unappealing, and I'm exhausted.
But then you get sucked into their backstories and you are sold.
Every episode keeps you coming back for more, with plot twists and cliffhangers and dramatic moments. Honestly, it's one of the best series we've binged in a seriously long time.
Woo! And it includes my favourite type of queer storyline where hate becomes love between two characters from very different backgrounds.
Outspoken and openly gay basketball player Toni immediately butts heads with Texan beauty queen Shelby.
Would you stop?
Only for their understanding of each other and their differences to deepen and potentially become something much more.
The Wilds is furiously feminist.
I get called a girly girl like it's a bad thing.
And deals with young women and their different cultures, backgrounds, history and issues with the respect those heavy storylines deserve. And there's going to be a season 2.
Can I get another one of those?
So dive into this as you would a cool ocean on a hot desert island. Seriously, do it now. If you want to sink your teeth into another series with complex characters and tense storylines, Little Fires Everywhere is amazing. Plus, it's set in the 90s, so the fashion is divine and the acting is incredible.
Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington both executive produced and star in this as two mothers from very different socio-economic backgrounds whose lives collide with catastrophic results.
You can't stand it, can you?
What?
That someone would choose a different life than yours.
I don't care how you live.
I read the book before I binge-watched, but I still couldn't get enough.
Little Fires Everywhere showcases not one but two very different queer storylines.
Why aren't we friends anymore?
It feels particularly groundbreaking to see not just a teenager's coming out story against the backdrop of conservative Midwest America.
Izzy, we probably should. Except we, always do.
But also to see the depiction of a beautiful and supported lesbian relationship between two black women.
I see the monsters too, and I love them fiercely.
Another feminist find, this series explores womanhood, motherhood, and how the two intersect and has you constantly questioning what you would do in any given situation.
No mother would want to be judged by the choice she made in her hardest, most desperate moment.
Dealing with heavy themes such as racism.
No way. You must like rap and basketball too, huh?
Betrayal, art, identity, and whether or not it's a good thing to follow society's rules, it will spark more than just heated conversations.
The perks of our next pick are infinite, with an excellent cast ensemble, including Hermione Granger with an American accent, the same Percy who was a lightning thief, and the Kevin that we all need to talk about. The perks of being a wallflower was bound to be groundbreaking.
It's a brooding, introspective, and beautiful coming-of-age story tackling loneliness, teen suicide, and first love, all while set to an infectious soundtrack and making room for references to the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
The queer storyline between an out and proud class clown and a heavily closeted jock is done with heartbreaking accuracy and serves as a reminder that everyone's queer journey is different.
You gonna do anything?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about your pet ape just tripped me.
But thank God Paul Rudd features to break the tension with some classic Rudd wisdom.
We accept the love we think we deserve.
Next up is Carol, a name I never knew would become music to my ears until I experienced the greatness of this movie. Carol is sweet, romantic, and visually stunning.
Featuring Cate Blanchett as a sexy older woman with a husky whisper and a penchant for leather driving gloves. And Rooney Mara as an introspective, budding photographer with an excellent fringe but an annoying boyfriend.
You made me buy boat tickets! I got a better job for you!
Carol follows the pair as they embark on a forbidden love affair.
No matter how many times I've watched it, the lingering looks of longing never fail to enthrall. It's the sexual tension for me.
Taking into account that this film includes most of my favourite things, including Christmas, women who ditch their clingy boyfriends, and a very tastefully done sapphic love scene.
Plus the way Cate Blanchett murmurs, harsh.
It was one night, Harge.
It gets a 12 out of 10 rating on the Rose and Rosie scale.
Oh, that's divine.
Now for a fumbling, awkward rom-com sort of called Dating Amber that follows a pair of teens who decide to pretend they're dating so they aren't outed as queer at their Irish school.
Just because we are, you can say it, gay.
The main characters are poor Eddie, who is attempting to squash his feelings for boys and his gorgeous teacher and join the army to become a man, and Amber, a smart but fed-up lesbian who just wants to catch a break from the patriarchy and move to London to open her anarchist bookshop.
The film follows the ups and downs as the duo become each other's beards and unlikely friends, with sharp language and that beautiful backdrop of Irish countryside.
It's crude, it's cringy, and it deals with the difficult subject of being closeted in a small-minded village with a wicked sense of humour.
Will Eddie ever be able to do a chin-up?
How long can they both keep up the facade?
This movie is both hilarious and wholesome, and a definite must-watch.
Our next pick, Appropriate Behaviour, is a little bit different from the others in that it's a story about losing love rather than finding it, and the vibe reminds me of 500 Days of Summer meets Girls. Shireen is an Iranian-American bisexual who's struggling to cope with the breakup of her relationship to ex-girlfriend Maxine and whether or not to come out to her traditional Persian parents.
This is Maxine, my friend. Maxine, meet my parents. Hi.
As she goes on a journey of self-discovery, reflecting on her past relationship, trying to get back into the dating scene, and figuring out what it means to be a modern 20-something New York woman, there are some painfully relatable moments.
I'm looking for the grown-up underwear of a woman in charge of her sexuality.
It's hilariously deadpan, refreshingly honest, and combines dry comedy with some seriously introspective issues. For me, the obscure humour, the retrospective gaze of her previous relationship, and the messy debacles Shireen gets up to makes this a surprisingly heartwarming film. Plus, there are some awesome one-liners, and I love her best friend Crystal.
You know, there are people in this world who go on first dates that are perfectly great, and then they wait a while before they engage in sexual contact.
It's disgusting.
I know, I think it all happens outside of New York.
There is something for everyone with Modern Love, a beautiful 8-part Amazon original series that explores love in all its forms. Platonic love,
long-term relationships,
love between friends,
love between family,
what happens when love grows old,
and when love meets heartbreak.
In episode 7, Hers Was a World of One, my personal favourite episode, we meet gay couple Tobin and Andy who decide that they want to have a baby.
The birth mother has as much or as little access with the child as the three of you agree.
That sounds awesome. I think we'd like that.
Okay.
They start exploring the adoption route and meet Carla, a pregnant woman who is homeless by choice and lives a very erratic lifestyle.
I don't care about you as individuals. Who are you as a couple, and why are you the ones to take care of my baby boy?
When they end up letting Carla and her dog move in with them, she proceeds to upend their lives.
But her chaos helps them prepare for parenthood better than any book could, and ultimately it's an experience that changes them all.
I've been irresponsible my whole life. This is the first responsible thing that I've done.
It could be my pregnancy hormones, but I cried at every single episode, and this one was far from the exception.
The whole series is uplifting, comforting, and pulls on your heartstrings and features A-list stars like Anne Hathaway, Tina Fey, and Dev Patel.
All of these beautiful films and TV shows are out and proud now on Prime Video. Which one are you planning to binge first?
Check out the links in the description below to discover these titles and more, and subscribe to Prime Video UK for more awesome recommendations like ours.